Thank you, sir, for joining us. I know, sir, you have some other engagement. So I would like to invite you, sir.
Um, Esteemed colleagues, Mr. Vikas Kumar, who is taking, I must say, unprecedented or rather unique initiative of gathering PhD scholars and experts for such meetings. And most importantly, my beloved PhD scholars. I will be very brief, and first of all, I put on record my sincere and great appreciation to Indian Research Scholars Association for organizing such meetings. I think to begin with, I will spend a few minutes on that. Then I will rather express my inability or rather incompetence to effectively reflect on such a broad topic: rethinking political, social, and economic dynamics in South India, continuity, changes, and contemporary challenges. My dear, this is a topic enough for almost 365 days seminar, actually, in my mind. You can have 365 days seminar by all the academic institutions in this country on this. But I'm not going to deal very much into that. I would like to share some thoughts to my wonderful colleagues, broadly related to this. Because I'm finding it extremely difficult why I'm personally against the South India, North India concept. I don't like that. I mean, there's nothing like North India. These are all realities, but somehow I don't like it in my personal trait. So I don't want to talk about South India, but I would rather talk about states. That's not a problem about it. But I don't want to talk so much about South India, why South India is different, North India is different. I don't want to. I mean, maybe reality that maybe some of my other colleagues may like to do that. I appreciate them, but I would like to differ with respect with them. In fact, I would like to differ with, of course, with respect. I would like to listen and learn about it. Maybe I'm not very competent, but to the point of the fact I agree to be here is basically this is an important initiative because I have great disagreement or rather disappointment with the manner in which economic research, PhD and all going on in this country. I am talking from my experience of heading a research institute, having a journal started from Routledge. And I started this journal for promoting a capability of the Southern scholars. In 2011, the journal started. Now it's a Q1 journal. But over time, I have seen how African scholars have come up in an incredible manner. But the kind of submission that I get from India is not gone to the level of my expectation despite our potential. That is to do with the manner in which we do research. And I have asked quite many of the PhD scholars whom I have met, what is the difference between a PhD thesis and an ordinary report which is submitted to a government? I have not got real research, a satisfactory answer. But I'm not saying that it is satisfactory to me, it may be satisfactory to others. And in fact, I almost stopped reviewing PhD thesis in this country because I don't want to reject the thesis. Because there's no point in giving comment because some supervisor think that this is what a thesis should be, then only it is coming to me. Then why should I comment? So I don't want to. So what I'm trying to say is that there is a long way to go in India with respect to our research. And research is bad because postgraduate teaching is bad. Undergraduate teaching is terrible because what is actually learning? Learning for us is mugging up. Today morning, I was addressing a group of 60 Kudumbasri person, they are mostly postgraduates. I asked them, is there anything that you learned in your postgraduate or undergraduate degree became handy in the work that you are doing now? All the notes that you have mugged up in the exam in the classroom and discharged in your examination papers, and you got a 90% mark, has it any of them was useful? Nobody said it is useful. So there is something fundamentally wrong. So I would like to say that learning is quintessentially not mugging up. Learning is quintessentially an interactive process. What you are, which I already told, I think long time back here, I'm repeating it again here. What you are, what is your capabilities are, is quintessentially contingent on whom are you interacting with. And a postgraduate student in Harvard University may be interacting with the world-class professors and the students from all across the world with the GRE more than 95. I don't think that I'm a great appreciator of GRE grade. No. On the other hand, what you have in an ordinary college, in a university, remote village, in a remote college, in a colleges where I go. Last 3 days ago, I was in a remote college in Kasaragod. I was feeling so sad with the students over there. So this is the situation that we have. So in that context, when you are giving an opportunity for the students to interact with the scholars from, say, for example, you have Suresh, Babu there, you have so many you have lined up. At least, virtual interaction is no substitute for real interaction, because I, as a teacher, who is a good teacher? A good teacher is a teacher who teaches from that unwritten textbook. A teacher who is mugging up and repeating the textbook is not a good teacher. A good teacher derives his energy for talking by looking at the eyes of the student. Here I am talking to a terminal. I am talking to a computer monitor. How long I can talk? I, as a teacher, derive energy from the brightening eyes of these students. If I am not able to see that, then I cannot talk. So what I'm trying to say is that at least you are deriving a second best alternative of what is called an online interactive space. And that interactive space, what you are is contingent on what is the interactive space that you have. And equally important is, what is the institutional architecture that governs the interactive space? You have interactive space in your home, and you have interactive space in your university, in your classroom. What is the rules, laws, customs, traditions, practices that you follow in your class in terms of interactive space? How much freedom you give to your students? And my dear friends, knowledge, to the best of my knowledge, I believe that knowledge is not like water that goes from a person who is all knowledgeable person, who is giving the knowledge, and somebody is there to receive the knowledge. No, that is not. Of course, your teachers may be knowing more, but I will tell you that my own experience, if you provide proper interactive space, the teacher who goes to the class can go back enlightened because of the right questions and right insights that your students give. That means knowledge can not only go from north to south, but also from south to north. Equally important, I repeat, knowledge goes horizontally between the participants. So the interactive space that you create and the framework of interaction, what are the rules and norms that facilitate interaction, that matters a lot. So I very much appreciate you in terms of creating this. At least you are able to listen to some professors and all, anyway. So that is something useful. It's a second best option. So in that sense, I'm going to kind of share some thoughts. I don't know time, actually 12 o'clock, some people are going to come here. I have a meeting, but I have 20 minutes. What I'm going to say, very brief. I'm talking about you. Today we are in this country, rightly so, India is one of the most ambitious countries in the world. We are trying to become a developed economy by 2047. It's not a small thing. When we got political independence, when we inherited an economy which is slow, no saving, 6% of the GDP was saved at that time, low saving, low investing, illiterate, agrarian, backward, rural economy we inherited. And that at that time, our idea was not to make India a developed economy. We want to make some change. When we have embarked upon certain strategies, right or wrong, we have indeed acclaimed, we have indeed achieved a lot. Whether we could have achieved more is a different question, but we are today in a situation wherein at least we can dream of, at least as our former President Dr. Abdul Kalam said, we have to be ambitious. At least we can put an ambition of making India a developed country. At least we can do that. That's something which is, and this 2047 agenda, I call it, is something which matters you, each one of you, rather than me. There's no guarantee that by 2047 I will be there. I'm sure most of you will be there to see where we are. And an equally important statement, I'm very very excited to see that our Prime Minister himself, a Prime Minister who is a Chief Minister turned Prime Minister, made a very interesting statement saying that India grows if and only if states grow. In fact, in the morning I was telling that my Chief Minister should say that Kerala will grow if and only if panchayats grow. When the Prime Minister says that India grows if and only if the states grow, similarly, each Chief Minister should be able to say that a state grows when the panchayats grow, or corporations or municipalities grow. So that essentially means that you and me, we are all given certain spaces in the economy and society that we are living in. If each one of us can excel in what we are doing as a teacher, as a professor, as a student, as a scholar, we are all endowed with certain endowments. We are all given certain spaces, and each of that space, there's no point in saying that, okay, no, I'm only a director, I am not a minister. No, each one of you are given a space to play, and that space you should effectively use. Then the country will develop. Now, the question which I wanted to ask a few questions is, when we are asking about states are made to grow, and now the question is the prevailing understanding of whether the states in this country are having constraints in terms of growing. Well, I in 20 minutes, I may be saying a lopsided story, which I don't want to, because I don't want to be saying a one-sided story. It should be a both-sided story. Each of the states have their potential. States are differently endowed, and each state should be exploiting the potential of each state to the hilt. Then only India will grow. But now the question is, when India to grow, whether the state's potential are really being used. That is the main question. Here it takes me to the recent report of the Finance Commission. We in this country, we know that our country, when we formed our constitution, we have what is called 3 levels of activities. We have got the state list, we have the union list, we have the concurrent list. So there was a clear distinct differentiation of the responsibilities of the union and the state governments. And as indicated by different scholars, particularly the 15th Finance Commission, there is something called a congenital inequality in the distribution of powers and responsibilities. That was necessitated by the situation like that, because everything that happens today is contingent on the environment. So much so that, according to 15th Finance Commission, almost 62% of the total expenditure responsibilities in this country are by these states, because states, according to the constitution, are entrusted with the responsibilities which are closer to the people, because states are more close to the people. So their development related activities like agriculture, say for example industries, say for example education, say for example health, all those responsibilities, something like 96 items were actually given to the states. You political science people will be knowing that over time that activities of the state has declined, union has increased. We all know that. That's a different issue. And when they were having responsible for 62% of the total expenditure, their revenue entitlement, because the taxes were distributed between the union and the states, their revenue entitlement was only 32%, 33%. So that is by birth, I would say congenital inequality. And our constitution framers were aware of that, and they have provided for a finance commission to be appointed every 5 years, and they have to decide how this could be over time, that the revenue could be shared between the state and union, such that the states are made to grow. In my language, states are made to grow. And the whole idea of what the guiding principle of the finance commission primarily was trying to, in a country that India inherited, India is actually much more heterogeneous than most states. So much so that there is a lot of inequality among states. So basic idea of finance commission was to ensure that basic minimum public goods is provided across Indian states. And when this is the basic, and basically we were trying to provide an equitable provision. Equality was something which we have been upholding. We also know that in our directive principle, we have been talking about establishment of socialistic pattern of society, which has been discarded later, I suppose. And equity was major agenda that was upheld. So in this context, when I was talking to the Finance Commission, when I had an opportunity to present before them, I told them that you are the first Finance Commission in this country appointed after India declaring its ambition of becoming a developed economy. So you cannot be totally unaware of that. So you need to facilitate. If Prime Minister believes that states are important to become indebted, to become developed, and if Finance Commission decide how much money that the states get, then you are very important. Finance Commission decisions are very important in terms of facilitating states development. Wherein, in fact, I argued that today, once you had a strategy, your strategy all throughout from 1951 was one of hand-holding the laggards. Today, your strategy should be one of walking on two legs while hand-holding the laggards. You also need to ensure that the performers are promoted. Otherwise, you will not be able to reach the agenda of 2047, walking on two legs strategy. I am very happy to note that this year, they have come up with a 10% weight for the GDP of the states. GDP of the state, I'm very happy so that, in fact, in the sentence what they have used is, recognizing the growth ambition of the country. They didn't use the word 2047 or anything like that. I searched for the word in the Finance Commission report. It's not there. But nonetheless, they recognize that fact. That's a kind of walking on two legs strategy one can see. But then what they have done is actually taking the weight of the GDP size. But then now I wanted to say that, okay, for that you don't need, in fact, my friend Manoj Panda, we were together in Yale University. I don't need, so I should not be using the name of the persons. With only respectfully, I'm saying, please don't think that he's my wonderful friend. He's a member. And we don't need a big professor from Columbia or Columbia. We need to be articulating the problematic of how to assess the contribution of each state in a more systematic way, because today we are living in a world of high frequency data. And we have got a much more detailed, minute database available. For that, you need to have what is called thinking process. Unfortunately, from the thesis of which I read very often, I found that from the PhD is gone away. This PhD doesn't have PhD. Similarly, I was thinking that the Finance Commission could have a little bit more articulate, and what could be the possible way in which we could articulate. I'm saying that each state can articulate in their own way. There is no limit for that. With all appreciation for them to making a good starting point, all appreciation with them starting point, I would like to think you people to think in terms of how do you articulate the contribution of an economic contribution of a state to national development. GDP is okay. But today, GDP is not enough. That's what you can think about. I think it will take more time. I have another 56. Nobody has come. Anyway, so assume that, okay, we are talking about fiscal federalism. Let us hypothetically assume that fiscal federalism is actually a system by which we have got four major actors. One is the union. Second is the state, union government, state government. Okay? No quarrel on that. Third actor is people of a particular state. When I'm talking about Kerala, people of Kerala. Then people of states other than Kerala. Similarly, when I'm talking from the perspective of Maharashtra, people of Maharashtra, vis-a-vis people from the rest of the country other than Maharashtra. So there are four set of factors. We have the union, we have the states, Union government, state government, and people of the state and people of other states. So basically, when you are talking about India becoming a developed economy, vibrant economy, all these four actors should become much more vibrant, much more developed. When you're talking about, then when you talk about a state, you know that just like any family or any individual, there is some kind of natural specialization tend to emerge because of the resource endowment, maybe because of the historical factors, or various reasons. You will find that some states are agricultural. Punjab is known for agriculture historically. Maharashtra is known for manufacturing. So, for example, Karnataka today is known for IT hub of the country. So, every state tend to dominate, tend to kind of specialize. This is something which emerge. So, assume that, say, for example, you take a particular state like Gujarat, which is now highest share in manufacturing. Assume that they are producing, say, for example, $100 worth of the machinery. When $100 worth, 100 crore worth of machinery is produced, you will find that the machinery today maybe 18% of the is GST. If the GST is 18%, 9% goes to state government, 9% goes to union government. Both union government is well off and state government is well off. When $100 million worth of steel is produced in Maharashtra, in Gujarat, so many people in Gujarat will be getting job. They will be getting income. So the people of Gujarat will be happy, will be better off. And people of other states also will be better off because using those inputs, those products which is produced over there, the other states can either they can migrate people from Bihar or Jharkhand or some, they may migrate over there, they get employment opportunity, or I can use a machinery produced over there and I can start a business over in Kerala. So people are also better off. So a particular specialization of, say, for example, I forgot the fact that, okay, when I can think of specialization, I told there's 10 to specialize. That can be divided into states into two categories. One specializing in the tradables, other producing in the specializing in the non-tradables. Tradables by nature are taxable. When a tradable is produced, tax goes to union government, tax goes to state government. Income earning opportunities are accrued to the states people and other states. So specialization, production of tradable, everybody is well off. Now let us take the case of a non-tradable. Say, for example, I would like to take, say, for example, human capital, education. I can also take software. Education, say, for example, suppose I would say that Kerala is actually can be seen as a state, example like Kerala, a state can be seen as an export-oriented manpower production is what Kerala is known for. I'm sure you will have seen so many nurses working in your university, in your hospitals. You might be seeing a lot of teachers and doctors. And in fact, it is said that something like 20% of the 5.8 million software personnel are trained from Kerala. So what happens when these kind of manpower cannot be sold. Manpower is mobile. They go to other states. They go to other states. They go to other part of the country, other part of the world. Those going to other states, they go there as working as nurses, maybe doctors, maybe lawyers, maybe teachers. Other states are better off because they get the human capital without investing in the production of human capital. They get it's a free good for them. Okay, otherwise they would have to invest so much of schools, so much of hospitals, so much of this thing to create such that they are getting free. They are better off. Now, when these people go out of the country and bring foreign exchange, the union government is better off because in this country now this year, $134 billion is the total remittances, out of which some 23% is by Kerala. So 2.7% of the population accounting for 23% of the total remittance, and that remittance make India's external sector strong. That means to make that much, to get that much export earning, if it is through ordinary exports, according to trade policy, such entities are eligible for 10% export subsidy. But unfortunately, Kerala is not getting that. I'm not saying that. So, union is better off. People of other states are better off. Now, people of Kerala are also better off because remittance comes to the state, and you will find all across 3,000, 4,000 square feet houses and one old lady and a dog sitting over there. That is what Kerala sees. Kerala is better off. What goes to the state government? State government doesn't get anything directly. Instead of producing 100 nurses, if they have produced like Maharashtra or Gujarat 100 metric tons of steel, they would have got the SGST straight to their pockets. They haven't got anything. So similarly, we have to. Now the point is that if we want to have, say for example, each state, similarly, I'm talking from the Kerala, now other states also contribute to national development. So what is the national development that we have to articulate in a much more nuanced way in the modern world? Unfortunately, these kind of things are not really happening. We are still with 18th century paradigm. Now, another point, why India is, I'm putting another point, political science students may be much more happy to, much more help. I'm not a political scientist. Now, I would say that when you are talking about development, India wants to become developed. Development has got very different dimensions, political dimension, sociological dimension, historical dimension, philosophy, all those dimensions are there. But as an economist, development basically means money. Without money, what development you are talking about? Money hona chahiye na, pocket pay. Paisa ke bina kuch na hona development. So that means when you talk about development, economy become the prime. Of course, please forgive me, my sociology friends and history friends saying that, okay, why are you talking about economy? For the time being, you are saying that without money, kuch nahi ho jayega. So when you are talking about development, even I can spend more time. When you're talking about development, you're talking about economy. Economy is actually what? A system. Economy is a system, is an interrelated system wherein each of the actors in the economic system should work together to show excellent results. It is like an orchestra. Economy is like an orchestra. In an orchestra, you have different instruments, people. They should work in unison. They should work in synchronized manner so that you get a nice outcome. But in the real world, there is no economy. What we are living in the real world is what is political economy. Political economy has got politics and economics. When economy progress calls for, demands what is called unified, synchronized, coordinated actions, politics is quintessentially division. Politics is quintessentially division. You have got ruling, you are the opposition. What is the opposition? Opposition is, what is the best opposition? In my state, best opposition is that opposition that opposes everything that union does, that the ruling party does. And as an individual, I have two powers. One is economic power, other is my political power. My economic power is manifested in my tax, which I pay. And my political power is manifested in the vote that I give. Because of the fact that the party that I vote has not got more than 50% of the seat or whatever it is, my economic power is wasted, my political power is also wasted. So what I'm trying to say is that when you're talking about opposition, we can have a situation where you can have a strong opposition, you can have a weak opposition. If there's a strong opposition, they won't allow anything for the ruling party to do. If there's a weak opposition, the ruling party will become what is called authoritarian, all kinds of problems come. So what I'm trying to argue is that if you are thinking of a new 21st century development, if you really development is needed, you need to ensure that as far as I am concerned, my political power and my economic power, which both I have, that should not go waste. So I would like to argue that to my dear friends from the political science people, I would like to know what is it stated in the constitution. After the election, the leader of the largest party will be invited to form the government. And Constitution never says who should be his ministers. Constitution never says who should be how the portfolio should be distributed. So what I would like to visualize a new scenario, a new thinking world wherein new generation create a new paradigm wherein a person in the opposition is given an opportunity not to oppose, but to work for the people. They are also social people. They are also into the business. They also should be given some part of the portfolio, some part of the budget. No, I don't know what proportion you have to give. If there is 30% of the vote an opposition has, they may be given maybe 30%, maybe 25%, maybe 10%. I don't know what is that. That can be decided. So an opposition should not be made to be destructive, rather constructive for the people. They should be made to work and compete for working for the people, and that is a new world that we have to think in terms of. What I'm trying to say that if India wants to become a developed economy, we need to ensure that we work in unison. That integrative process, that political economy process, that that works against development should be minimized. And this is another way of thinking about it. So I think I will stop here because my people have already reached there. After now, few questions if you want, I can take it. Otherwise, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for this talk. And many people asked me question how you are managing such kinds of the webinar, lecture series, and book discussion. Then I'm giving the answer to them. I have no any kinds of the heritage, but I have the guidance of some my teachers and intellectuals. So, sir, thank you so much, sir. So, just we are moving to the next speaker, uh, Honorable.
All the best. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Uh, TP Sasikumar, sir, Honorable Vice-Chancellor, sir, you're most welcome, sir. So now this session, this floor is yours. So please, sir.
Awesome.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, TP Sasikumar, sir. Can you listen us, sir? Sir, please unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Sir,
Namaskaram.
ji,
Namaskaram.
ji, pranam, sir.
Namaskaram. Thank you. It's a great initiative where the Indian Research Scholars Association, rethinking political, social, economic dynamics of South India, the continuity changes and contemporary challenges. As just now, the speaker, Professor K.J. Joseph, Gulati Institute, mentioned, it's a 365 days because we are talking about the dynamics, the contemporary challenge. So every day there is a challenge. Beautiful topic, and great scholars are around. The Madras Institute Development Studies Director, Professor M. Suresh Babu is here. All three of us are from Kerala. The content is of South India. Definitely we have a great role. But we have Panchanatham from the Honorable Vice-Chancellor from Gandhigram Rural Institute, Tamil Nadu. Lucky that we have one representative from Tamil Nadu. I wish we had somebody from Karnataka, Andhra, Telangana also. Yeah, I represent Telangana and Andhra because I am here in this place for longer time than probably I spent in Kerala. I understand politics. I understand the psychology of people. I understand the dynamics of economics, the sociology. Keeping all that in mind, I wish the Indian Research Scholars Association, as Professor KJ was mentioning, it's boring to talk to the terminal. And in a seminar, generally it is a trend that you switch off your camera and it looks something else and then just give your attendance that you are present, right? At least a few faces are there. It would be much better and easier. It looks like a webinar. Otherwise, somebody could record a message and send it. And after the beautiful speech on economics, the state union collaboration, the taxation, all that is done. When somebody asks, there is a question, there is no question at all. That is what the first concern of Professor KJ was. No question. People lack questions today. When I teach Bhagavad Gita, I keep saying it is not Krishna who made Bhagavad Gita, it is Arjuna who made Bhagavad Gita, because there are a lot of questions. I think a webinar or a seminar or a dialogue, especially when you are in a research colloquium, it should be like a dialogue. the bottom to top approach which the union government has to insist is what Professor KJ was mentioning. I remember going to Amaravati, Maharashtra Amaravati, not the Andhra Pradesh Amaravati, where I stayed in Tukadaji Maharaja's ashram, who was the core concept of Gram Sankalpa was sold to Mahatma Gandhi. I don't know how many people have read the Tukadaji Maharaj. I think it's worth looking at to understand the sociology, the civilizational landscape shaped by the knowledge of traditions of India, social reform movements.
Sir,
It is
one of our member, Dr. Subhangi Amle from there, sir.
wonderful. Thank you so much. I think we should have good interaction with such people to collaborate and work together and take it as a national movement. To understand the future of India, many people keep saying the youth are the future of India. I keep saying they are not the future of India. They are India itself, now itself. Why you should wait for a future? They themselves are today present to decide not future of today's politics. Today's social economic dynamics are with the youth. I trust most of the youth for the dynamic leadership and activity. In the story of modern India, the South India represents a unique laboratory. The fact is that there is a distinct difference between South and North in politics, culture, education, history, social reform, democracy. Everything is different. I have traveled all east, west, north, south of India and all across the globe at different places. The democracy have got a produce interactive political and economic models from South India very distinctly, which I have not seen in the North India. And Northeast India also have gone to that Arunachal Pradesh, China border, this side Pakistan border, all that places I have seen. It's a regional exercise is essential to understand the future trajectory of the Indian nation as a whole. Unless you travel and explore, you may not be able to understand this. I'm sure, therefore, there is a great content to deliver, and I should congratulate the Research Scholars Association for organizing a timely academic dialogue where we have in a political problem, we are in an economic problem, we have got a war in the Gulf, which have got a great impact in South India, probably that much is not on the North India. The rethinking political, social, economic dynamics in South India is very relevant because of these conditions. Today, when I am speaking on 16th March 2026, it has got a great relevance. Recently, I made a statement saying that there may not be a war at all, but all on a sudden the war came. The relevance today is so dynamic. I keep saying it is not 21st century. We are talking about third decade of 21st century. If we can predict what will happen in 5 years, that itself is a great thing. Why to 21st century? It's so dynamic. It's democratic, political, intellectual landscape changes per week, per day. Per morning till evening, there can be a change, which is unpredictable today. Most of the models doesn't work. So I like to categorize my talk probably in few perspectives, looking at the historical roots of South India and educational, rational thinking traditions of South India, economic patterns and the Gulf influence, the migration phenomena, the contemporary political system, the dynamics and the elections, which is just declared yesterday. The way forward for India's federal future, the union future, has to be understood very, very critically. To understand the present political and economic dynamics, we should look at the historical, civilizational roots of South India. South India is not merely a geographical region. It's a civilizational continuum shaped by multiple historical forces. The Sangam civilization of Tamilagam, the Satavahana of and Chalukya political structure which we had. I've gone through all these great kingdom headquarters, looked at the culture, studied about this Vijayanagara Empire culture synthesis, the Bhakti movement and the temple-centered society, which is much stronger in South India than in North India. The maritime trade worked with Rome, the South Asia, Middle East. Kerala has got a very potential, all the coastal region. That is why it is called the Indian Ocean, because we have the largest coastal region. Unlike many other regions, South India maintains strong continuity on the linguistic cultural identities, because Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, it's extremely different from the northern culture, and the strong regional self-identity is still maintained. Though we have got traveled people from south to north, north to south, from all over the world, the identity is still kept. The intellectual traditions emphasizing the knowledge and the ability to debate, the social reform movements which happened, the historical continuity is very, very intact. Therefore, the political pattern also has got an influence on this. How and why it happened? Because of education, rational thinking, and social reforms which happened in South India much faster and bigger and higher than in the North Indian part. Therefore, the social reform movements, the strong public debate culture, the educational investments by both society and the governments, because society is what government is. Probably that is not the situation in North India. Here, the society represents government, government represents society. The Kerala developmental model is very famous. The literacy model, the public health model, social equality, and participatory governance from bottom to top. The Panchayat Raj, very strong in Kerala. The Tamil Nadu built a strong welfare-based governance structure. Karnataka developed a major science ISRO headquarters where I was a scientist. Headquarters is in, and the department head sits in the Bangalore office, but not in Delhi. Only one department in India. Technology hub. So Bangalore is one of the hub of science and technology. Telangana and Andhra Pradesh build technology-driven economic ecosystems. Nobody can match Chandrababu Naidu's policies on the developmental strategy, which the modern India is seeing the benefits of that. Because of the culture of education and the rational thinking, South India consistently ranks very high in literacy, high educational participation, human development indicators. These factors deeply influence the political behavior and the public discourse also. So the space, public space in India, especially Kerala, is entirely different. My son did a PhD in the public space in Kerala, and his PhD in the developmental economics and international politics, but he did in Dublin. That's a model by itself. There is a beautiful book created out of his PhD thesis. The Gulf migration, the global economic linkage with India exist only in South India. The UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, Kuwait, Bahrain, all these places I roamed around. I've interacted with the whole section of people. Over 8 to 9 million Indians are in Gulf region. Imagine when there is a war in Gulf region is getting affected, it impacts South India. 2.5 million people are in Gulf from Kerala, 1.5 million from Tamil Nadu. Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, 1.2 million, almost 0.8 million, almost close to 1 million in Karnataka. These migrants contribute billions of dollars of remittance, transferring local economics of India. Don't forget this. More than 1/3 of state income in Kerala comes from Gulf. Therefore, the geopolitical impact on a Gulf war, the Middle East conflict, India cannot close eyes and say that it is not affecting us. I don't understand why Indian government, the union government, is ignoring what illogical, useless, foolish thing America, USA, and Israel directly impacting the South Indian economics. It is not for Iran, it is also for South India. The large the conflict, the migration, remittance, unemployment, Domestic economy also will change. Therefore, the global geopolitics now influences the regional politics and the development. I am sure this will impact the voting patterns in the South Indian political landscape. Therefore, the next election is also going to get impacted if these items are being shown as a great political impact. So, unlike many other northern states, we can distinctly see that South Indian historically regional politics also have got an impact. DMK, ADMK in Tamil Nadu, TDP in Andhra Pradesh, BRS in Telangana, regional politics in Karnataka. If you look at Kerala, maximum number of regional politics, if I name it takes long time, so I'm skipping. Somebody should look at how many regional political parties are there in Kerala. Probably Bihar has got equal number. North India doesn't have that sort of a regional political parties. So the regional identity and the government model, the powerful political force, it is all non-BJP parties. That is one of the reasons BJP is not able to penetrate inside South India. A counterbalance in India's federal politics happens in South India because of all these unique democratic situations which we have. It is not just merely a political opposition. It's a historical social movement, anti-caste movement. If caste is one of the criteria for impacting politics by the union government ruling party today in South India, it will never work. Because the religious people mix together, talk together, participate together in most of the activities in South India, especially in Kerala. The social justice is what politics have to play. The linguistic identity movements will not work. The role of caste and social justice, caste dynamics will not work at all in South India. The distinct social justice framework includes the reservation policies, backward class, education inclusion, all that has to go because we are now much higher in its prospective system. The caste representation, economic development, welfare policies. So the developmental discourse and the welfare governance, South India has to be distinctly, differently seen. And what model which works in North India will never run in South India. Education has got a great role in the electoral behavior. The electoral dynamics and the outcomes in South India are shaped by the educational level, economic awareness. They understand the family budget. The higher literacy and higher educational system influences the policy discussions, governance expectations, public accountability, infrastructure, health system, employment opportunities, and therefore the counter in the political party which is creating in North and South has to be understood very clearly. The cultural diversity and the political pluralism, the critical aspect of the cultural diversity of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra, you look at entirely different. The Dravidian intellectual heritage, the reform movements and the literacy traditions of Kerala, classical music of Karnataka, Andhra. And that has got a great impact in the minds and the people, the linguistic pride, the strong civil society, the emphasis on education. These are all very, very different, the diverse field you can see. Therefore, what could be the emerging challenges? I'll come to the end of the talk. The South India also faces several contemporary challenges. Rapid urbanization. It is highly densified. Karnataka government has given rebate for all the companies if they move out of Bangalore. Youth unemployment, migrating, lakhs of people are migrating to all over the world. You go to Germany, all the nurses are Keralites. The earlier Professor KJ Joseph was also mentioning. The digital misinformation, We are all impacted by this. The migration pressure is too much. There are a lot of vacant houses. It looks like in 2050, middle class, half of the houses in Kerala will be abandoned, not vacated, abandoned. Nobody will come back. The center state physical tensions will become entirely different now. The days to come, the global geopolitical uncertainties will influence the people of South India. The new policy thinking, corporate federalism will change. Probably Punjab has got an influence similar to this. If at all I have to compare, because people migrate to Canada, most of the people. I think the richest village is in Gujarat now. Some portion of Gujarat, Punjab will get affected. South India can contribute India's national movement very productively if knowledge economy and strengthen science, technology, and research ecosystems very strong. But we don't have great institutes. The concern which Professor KJ Joseph was mentioning, I also have. I've traveled across different best universities, best IITs, IACs, ISER in this country. The federal balance, the corporate, federal, and centralized governance, promoting them, the cultural confidence, maintaining linguistic and cultural diversity to embrace globalization, all these have to be understood carefully. I think the research forum has got a great job to do. The South India today represents an interesting intersection of the history, education, economics, and politics. Therefore, the topic was very close to my heart. That is why my friend referred, and then Arunachalamji referred, and then Visha called me. I said I was jumping into this topic. The electoral numbers understands the historical consciousness is there inside them. The social reform movements are there in the history, and people study that thoroughly. Educational advancements, global economic linkages. Though I have not been directly connected with all these, I studied all these. I think all the South Indians study all this. And therefore, the researchers and scholars take a task of understanding, analyzing the political competition, what happens in South India and what happens in North India, and make a scientific, rational, evidence-based dialogue between the future of South and North of India, or we have a democratic evolution which happens. Therefore, the South India remains in its own identity, will remind us that progress is not built over just power or politics, but through education, rational thinking, social responsibility. And that is the only method to take India forward. Otherwise, India will develop, India will progress, but India may not develop for longer time. The progress will become down after some time. If it is to merge as a strong, inclusive, the knowledge-driven nation, the lessons from South India and its commitment to education, social reform, democracy, democratic diversity, much more political system should grow. It is not one party which is conquering the whole country, should never happen. There has to be a strong political system which has got an opposition as strong as the ruling party. This guidance on the national imagination should happen, and therefore rethink South India not merely as a region, but as a powerful example of how diversity, knowledge, and democracy together can shape the future of our nation. That is the discussion which we have. Very, very, very useful seminar. I'm sure that next 2 days there will be a lot of dialogue. My contact number, Dr. TPS, you just search on internet, you will get me. I'll be always ready on dialogue. I love questions and queries and discussions. Thank you very much, Dr. Vikash, Kumar, and my friend for referring me to such a forum. And though the audience are very few, I'm sure number doesn't matter, the reaction matters. I'll be very glad to interact and associate with this organization of the group of researchers around. Thank you so much. Pranams. God bless you. Inshallah.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sir. for this talk and for bless to all the young scholar. Uh, so just we are moving to the next speaker. We have with us Professor Suresh Babu sir, Honorable Director, Madras Institute of Development Studies, and it is a second occasion our young scholars are going to uh, take guidance and going to learn and listen to Professor Suresh Babu sir. So sir, now the floor is yours. So please sir.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. And it is indeed a pleasure for me to be here today and to share a few thoughts on the importance of this initiative. First of all, I should congratulate the Indian Research Scholars Association for this very important kind of a venture. And this edition especially requires, very, very kind of an important theme, which requires comments because rethinking political, social, and economic dynamics in South India is a very important theme at this point in time. Now, I won't take much time because I want to just flag a couple of issues which I think is important in this context for setting the broader kind of contours for discussions. One of the things that I am particularly interested in this dialogue is the resurgence of what we call as regional studies. And in a large federal economy like India, regional studies are extremely important. Professor Joseph mentioned to it. Dr. Shashi also talked about that, how diverse regions and understanding the dynamics of these regions are very important. Regional studies as a discipline has a long tradition, and it is important to revive that. Now, it is crucial for analyzing certain kinds of unique social, economic, cultural, political characteristics of very specific geographical areas. Yeah, and it is from that point of view we have to see how the South Indian economy is doing well, or how the South Indian development indicators are faring and things of that sort. Yeah. So we have to really understand the fact that regions perform differently in different indicators. Now, so the whole, rubrics of regional studies then would enable sustainable kind of development, because the regions have to develop at an even pace, otherwise it leads to uneven development. It will also create a kind of a guide for more evidence-based policy making. Very, very important, because one central set of policies. Dr. Joseph was referring to the whole issues in terms of resource mobilization and allocations. Now, so that way regional studies will provide evidence for policy making. It would offer very deep insights into local, national, and global interactions. We were hearing about that, how each of these regions are integrated to the larger global economy in different ways. And it's very, very important in terms of understanding how regions navigate through complex global environments. So I think that is a broader context in which we have to see this important dialogue that is being set up now. Now, one interesting thing as an economist for me is to understand the spatial dynamics of regions. Yeah, and regional studies then analyze often unequal growth and economic trajectories of cities and regions, and that gives us insights in terms of planning as well as how we could actually reduce regional disparities. Now, we all know that different geographical regions fare differently in terms of economic performance. Yeah, in an economy like India, where there is vast disparities in per capita incomes, we need to understand as to why certain regions are performing better and certain regions are not performing as much as some other regions. One. Second important thing is that we also need to understand that as to why certain policies are successful in certain regions, yeah, and certain policies are not successful in certain other regions. Yeah, the same policies, that is, for example, consider a policy for improving school education, might succeed in certain regions and might not succeed in certain other regions. So unless we understand this, yeah, policy formulation becomes very important. So that is why this kind of discussions about regions provide detailed ground level insights that would allow policymakers to create very effective place-based solutions, yeah, which are tailored to local needs. Yeah, and this will help policymakers to come out of this paradigm of one size that fits all kind of an approach. Yeah, and very importantly, or my final kind of an appeal is that when we are talking about regions, we should also bring in interdisciplinary perspectives, and that is exactly what the title of this, two-day event is also talking about, because we have to bridge multiple fields here: economics, geography, a little bit of anthropology and sociology, and that would only give us a kind of a comprehensive understanding of how human activity in turn shapes and is shaped by environment. And that is very important. Yeah, human activity is shaped by certain environments, but human activity also shapes certain environments. So those kind of causal linkages, if one is to understand, we need to have an interdisciplinary perspective. And that is one important issue when we are talking about regional studies perspective. Okay. Now, having said that, why is this emphasis on South India? Right? Very, very fascinating growth journey that South India has in recent times. And I don't need to really, exaggerate that. Our rough estimates show that approximately 30 to 31% of national GDP, yeah, are coming from South India, which accounts for close to 20% of the total population, right? And if you look at the financial year 24-25, southern region, yeah, which includes, I would say, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and Kerala, and of course, Pondicherry is a part of it. It recorded an average growth rate of 6.3%, when the national economy was having an average of only 5%. So there is something in this region that is actually driving dynamism. Very, very important. And when we look or unpack the states in terms of their regional dynamics, what we find is that Tamil Nadu is often called as the Detroit of Asia. Yeah, a lot of automobile industries and manufacturing hub. It is emerged as a hub of automobiles and electronics manufacturing. Right? In 2024-25, this state, Tamil Nadu, is the only major state that has recorded double-digit growth rate of GSDP. Yeah, which means that there is some dynamism that is happening in this region, and we need to understand that. We need to understand that in terms of a policy perspective and see whether such kind of a dynamism can be cultivated in other regions as well. Same is the case when we talk about Karnataka. We know that Bangalore is often called as the Silicon Valley of India. It is a hub of IT services. But very interestingly, Bangalore is also moving up in the value chain with more of R&D units coming in. Aerospace industry is coming in a big way. Startups are actually growing in a big way. So there is something in that ecosystem which is actually boosting growth of particular kind. We need to understand that more closely. Telangana, we just heard. Yeah, and how Telangana has emerged as global hub, for example, pharmaceutical industry, biotechnology, and IT exports. right? And that is extremely important. Pharma, now if you recall the last year, budget that was presented by the union government, there is a big boost for pharma and biotechnology. That is because these sectors are going to drive growth in future. These are the sunrise sectors. And Telangana is actually taking a lead in that. When we look at Andhra Pradesh gives a very interesting example of port-based industrial growth. Yeah, again we have pharma growing there. Major hub, Visakhapatnam is emerging as a kind of a mid-level tech region. So we find that growth is really taking place from a different sector there altogether. When you look at Kerala, which is known for its high human development, we find that it is only service sector that is contributing to a large chunk of the growth. Manufacturing is picking up in certain sectors, but there is also importance for tourism and wellness as an industry there. So what I really want to convey is that all these states offer us different models. Yeah, one based on manufacturing, one based on IT and other kind of services, another on pharma, another on ports, and we also find that there is also a huge prospects for service sector growth. So what are these drivers then, which one could see? Of course, infrastructure is a major drive. Yeah, and there is no doubt about that. There are 15 major and minor ports in this part of the country. Yeah, Chennai, Kochi, now Vizhinjam has come, and also there are 9 international airports. And these international airports actually provide connectivity to seamless kind of, global trade access. Yeah. So infrastructure growth has been tremendous. One. Second, there is also this importance of human development, which is very important, right? Higher literacy rate, healthcare access. There is also more balanced gender ratios. All in all, the ecosystem has been able to create skilled and productive workforce, which is very important for other regions to emulate, because we are now looking at reaping the demographic dividend and marching towards 2047 when we want to become a developed country by 2047. There is also the energy transition that is happening. Yeah. For example, Tamil Nadu is pioneering renewable energy. Green industrialization is picking up. Karnataka is ranking top in terms of skilled and productive workforce, right? And wind and solar capacity, Karnataka is now becoming a major kind of a source. So there is this kind of energy transition which is actually contributing to economic growth in these regions. But one common theme that I want to really highlight when we look at this region as a whole is the pace of urbanization, right? Urbanization exceeds more than 40% and more than 40%, 45% in certain states. Tamil Nadu is the highest urbanized state, right? Cities like Chennai, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, all have become top investment destinations, not only of the country, but of Asia. So urbanization has been a major kind of a driver of growth here. Now, when we look at, the kind of, primary industries and highlights, that's what I was trying to portray here. We find that these different geographical regions or states have different comparative advantages. Yeah, Bangalore might have comparative advantage in IT and aerospaces and startups, while Chennai has comparative advantage in automobiles and electronics. Hyderabad's comparative advantage may be in terms of pharma and IT and biotech. Coimbatore, a city in Tamil Nadu, has an advantage in textiles. Visakhapatnam has a major port, and now in Kerala, Vizhinjam has a major port. So we find that there is diverse set of factors that are driving economic growth in this region. Understanding this diverse set of factors and then providing insights both in terms of policies as well as in terms of understanding development process then is a very important task. And I hope that in the next today and tomorrow in the next sessions, we will have more insights in terms of understanding this region's dynamism and growth prospects. More importantly, I hope that this would also encourage young researchers to really take up regional studies as a discipline very, very seriously, understand regions and states in India and their models in terms of growth and development. Thank you very much.
Uh, Thank you so much, sir, for guiding us. And thank you, sir, for kindly accepted our invitation, sir. Uh, just when I have called to respected Suresh, sir, and sir has given immediate consent and accepted our invitation to deliver the talk on this particular topic. So thank you, sir, on behalf of the all research scholars and on behalf of the all participants. I would like to thank sir. Thank you so much. So just we are moving to the next speaker, Professor Panchanatham, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Gandhigram University. Uh, so, Professor Panchanatham, sir.
Because you call the professor, then introduce him. Subhangi, you call the Professor Panchanatham.
Sir, I am joining now. Sir, I am joining. Half
Okay,
minute. Half minute. Namaste.
Welcome, Professor.
Half
Welcome,
minute.
Professor.
Hello, Panchanatham, sir. So we are waiting for your presidential remarks, sir. So kindly unmute your device. Can you listen me, sir?
I think Panchanatham sir joined. Just ask him to unmute it.
Panchanatham, sir, you are mute, sir. Please unmute.
Sir, I am joining, sir. I am joining now.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay. Okay, no problem.
You all can take tea. नमस्ते नमस्ते
जी प्रणाम सर.
नमस्ते सभी को नमस्ते हिंदी में बोलने के लिए जानता हूँ गलत हिंदी बोल रखा हूँ क्षमा कीजिए
वेलकम
क्षमा कीजिए so most respected and the galaxy of personalities present online, and at the outset I take this opportunity to congratulate Mr. Dr. Vikash, Kumar and his team
Thank you,
for
sir.
having taken efforts to organize this wonderful program. That too, the title, if you see, it is very relevant, pertinent, and multidisciplinary. Rethinking. Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, Professor. Yeah, Professor.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you.
And
thank you. बहुत धन्यवाद. So rethinking political, social, and economic dynamics in South India, that too on continuity, changes, and contemporary challenges. See, that is a multidisciplinary approach. And I was listening to the previous speaker, very wonderfully he was addressing, but I am not a competent person to speak on this topic for a long time. So with your permission, and I'm happy that I'm given presidential address. So my address can be very short. At the same time, taking this opportunity, I congratulate all those persons who are taking efforts to organize this program. Even in organizing an online program, it is not an easy task today. So much, as just now I was just suffering from this connectivity and other work. All the times it happens everywhere, even in developed countries also. Therefore, friends, I congratulate the organizing team, particularly Vikas Kumarji and others, for having taken pains to organize this wonderful program. Similarly, investing time nowadays for a good cause is a difficult task. People don't do that, some of them. But now, many have joined online. Many are listening to great people of speakers. Arunachalam sir, whenever he comes to our university, intellectual discussion always used to be very
Thank you,
high.
sir.
Something like that, to spend time on intellectual discussion. Very few people are there. And today I am congratulating so many have joined online. Friends, only these type of meetings, friends, only these type of discussion will give us a new outlook. Of course, maybe 90% what others spoke, I may repeat. What I speak, others may repeat. There, we get a reinforcement. Though it is a repetition, we need a reinforcement many times. I tell you a good example. I have made 65 international visits. Do you mean to say that when you go to a hotel, after opening the door, we should put the key into that hole so that the light will be switched on? So I have done all over the world. But recently I went to Bangalore. I did not do that. I made a complaint to receptionist that there is no power, there is no electricity. Then one small boy, 8th standard qualified boy came, who opened the door. I told I opened the door. Where is the key? From my pocket I gave the key. He just to put the key, light is on. And he is telling, are you staying first time in hotel? You see that? I 65 international visits all over India, hundreds of hotels we have stayed. But simple thing, no reinforcement. We forget. We forget. So something like that, when great personalities do speak in these programs, many times, though we know certain things, we need reinforcement. So in that way also, it will be highly useful. Then new insights, certainly new insights will come. New insights. See the title, how rethinking political and social and economic dynamics. Dynamics. I don't know how to translate in politically also. When I was young age, I thought that if two parties are there, these two parties are enemies. That is how I thought. For example, if we take Tamil Nadu, party X, party Y. Both are enemies. That is how I thought. All India level, Congress versus some other party means they are, I thought, enemies. Now, the new slogan, rethinking today's topic, rethinking political ideologies, they say that in politics, there is no permanent friendship, there is no permanent enemy. Today, both of us will be in alliance. Tomorrow, you will go with somebody else, I will go with somebody else. So this is the trend today. That is the reason I congratulate Vikas and his team rethinking political. Those days what we were thinking about the political, those things we cannot think now. Today is changing. Accordingly, our research should go. Accordingly, our papers should go. Accordingly, decisions should be taken. Social. You and I never we thought that there is been a political issue between Iran and the United States of America. Yesterday from Dindigul, I went to Chennai. Chennai, my wife and I, we wanted to go to hotel. We asked, you won't believe, some 7 items because we are aged, diabetic, blood pressure is there, tablets are we are taking. We wanted only boiled items, not fried items. All the 7 items we were not given in 2-3 hotels. I don't want to tell the name of the hotel, but convincingly they told that cylinder problem is there. Even that too, they told second item, cylinder problem. First reason, I asked when a particular item I want, dish I want, he says there is a war between Iran and America, Israel. So war between those two people making me not to get a small item of dish which I wanted in Chennai. So rethinking the social economic dynamics. So it started with the world trade war. Now it has gone to original war. Original war. So somewhere some two people are fighting. Somewhere we don't get petrol, we don't get gas, we don't get our regular idli dosa dishes. So friends, these are all the rethinking. Today's context we is rethinking that includes not only all over India but also in South India. And challenges without seeing in research, the topic is the research, Indian Research Scholars Association is organizing. Those days seeing a calculator. Calculator is a difficult task 35 years ago when I was doing my research and typing in facet and Godrej emissions. No computer, no computer. But the challenges today, if you take not only on political, social, and economic aspect, the research aspects of all other things if we see today, the challenges are just GPT is there, Chat GPT is there, AI is there. AI says that before you give a conclusion, it says that no, it is not out of your research conclusion. This conclusion has come already. Your research is a waste of time. That it gives after 3 years. After 3 years, it says your research is waste. And yesterday I went for a selection committee of Vice-Chancellors, and you won't believe how much the AI has grown. For 1.2 crore salary, Vice-Chancellor is not available. Yesterday I went to Bombay 2 days ago. And the chairman of the committee, and we gave some names. Through AI, he is finding out in the discussion, this fellow will not come. Sir, how can you say like that? You call him. Then I called the person. Sir, Honorable Sir, you applied for the Vice-Chancellor post. The interview is going to be held. We want to shortlist your name. Can you come on that day? No. By mistake, I applied. I will not come. I asked this third person, how did you find out whether it is a horoscope? How AI does this work? But AI does some background, and from there, cost to company, CTC. That person will come only if it is 2 crores. Less than 2 crores, he may not come. This chairman we was able to find out. He is the Padma Bhushan. Chairperson is a Padma Bhushan. I realized how is it possible? And another fellow came. He said that I will stay for only 1 year. And here he is aiming to find out. Don't select him. He will not stay. Then he wanted me to speak. I spoke to that candidate. He says that yeah, he can stay only 10 months. 10 months. Even now it is a surprise for me. How AI is finding out somebody who will not accept for less than 2 crores. I am asking that my chairman, no, you have to, I will teach you, you have to learn more about AI. It is not easy. From papers, nothing can be done. So friends, so much researches can be done on political, social, economic dynamics in South, particularly in South India. Politically, one permanent enemy is there, two permanent friends are there. And economically, economic dynamics, if you see economic dynamics in South India today, there are so many entrepreneurs. Viksit Bharat, before 2047, India can achieve. And so many people, there are many entrepreneurs whose income is multiple times higher than that of university professor and others. So entrepreneurial activities are increasing. And there are many institutions where they are going for more than 40 to 50 lakhs at the young age per annum salary. So the economic dynamics in South India, it is very well changing, and that too in agriculture of late because of this products, organic products, and the government of India's subsidy. I am seeing a company's general manager yesterday night. He spoke to me when I was traveling in a train. He says that as a general manager of a company, he resigned. And he is doing that, I don't know how to translate this Kaikuttal Arisi. And the rice is made out of no machine, handmade rice from paddy to rice. And he has started this company. He is multiple times money he is getting when he was in a company as a general manager. So economic dynamics is changing. So friends, in the advent of AI and changes in political scenario and our life cycle, our life cycle, and so many other reasons. There's a contemporary challenges because of mobile AI, the challenges we do face. For all those things, new researches are required in social sciences, and the outcome should be highly useful to the society. So here in Gandhigram Rural Institute, I take this opportunity to welcome all of you here. All our research scholars, they do rural issue-based, problem-based research. Even doctoral research, more than 70%, they all address rural issues. And apart from that, though it is a rural university, Stanford ranked top 2% scientists or more in number in mathematics, physics, chemistry, agriculture, everywhere. I take this opportunity to invite all of you to see how these people are doing research, that too in political, social, all these departments are also available. Economics and all facing the latest challenges. Therefore, their H indexes of this university is 109. H index is 109. So one among the few universities in South India which has got highest amount of H index. So if you permit me, the changes taking place in all subjects, including my subject, I'm basically business administration, and yesterday on IAM process says that and all management programs will not exist after some time because AI will replace all business analytical decisions will be taken by AI. Even management programs may not be there. MBA program will not be there. That much fast it is going on. Therefore, friends, and so much researches are required on the contemporary challenges from AI onwards to all the other changes taking place in political scenario, social scenario, economical scenario. So we'll have to, the fast growing economy is ours. So this type of conferences, seminars will be highly useful, make our people to think, our outlook will change, make our people to think in different dimensions. So no new researches will come out of which the Viksit Bharat, a developed country, 2047 is easily possible, and India will emerge as number one economic power, superpower at the earliest, so that India will grow well, and always we take care of our brothers and sisters of all countries. We want to fight with anybody. So with these things, particularly the new challenge of this trade war ended with physical war between these 2-3 countries, Iran, United States, and Israel, or the consequences of all those things need very big research. So our great people are doing the talking, so I don't want to take much of your time. Only I take this opportunity to congratulate organizers, because Kumar and his team, Arunachalam sir, everybody who are organizing this great program, and a special best wishes and congratulations to participants who are investing their valuable time all day in listening to great people, and their outlook will change. As a result, very quality researchers, patents, new products will come. India is producing only 3% of total products in the world. 3%. That is the reason many war problems what is going on. Our products should increase, for which we need more incubation and startup in every department, through which researchers are to be directed. That's what's going to happen. And I sincerely thank you for patiently listening to me for the past 15 minutes. And a special thanks to Vikash, Kumar, Arunachalam, and others who have given me an opportunity to be with you in this beautiful day to share some of my thoughts. Best wishes. God bless all. Welcome to Gandhigram Rural Institute.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor. Your blessings is always great for young researchers like Vikash and Bangi and all the research scholars. I mean, who are working for the enrichment of the knowledge among the youngsters. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you so much, respected Vice Chancellor sir, for your excellent presidential remark. So I will not take more time, and
Professor Panchanatham is he has find time for us. I mean, that itself is great thing for us. Professor is, I mean, he is a superstar in the academic world.
I hope that our members
how many programs he daily is participating itself. I mean, I used to always appreciate, watching his professor's activities. He is a great motivator for youngsters. I mean, like all the research scholars in future. I mean, academic world, I am telling that. Sir is a model, academic model for youngsters. So he's a simple person. If you go there, you could understand how he is a Vice-Chancellor, but he is so kind-hearted. He is the way he is receiving the guests in his room by offering chocolate, by adorning his stall. That nowhere, I mean, in India, I have seen such a great Vice Chancellor. I mean, like Professor Panchanatham. He has find time for us. I mean, in fact, Professor, I mean, Panchanatham sir, I asked because at any cost, I mean, you got to invite Professor Panchanatham. He is a role model, not in management, but I mean, for the entire academic world, youngsters, not only the present generation, even the academic faculty members also. They have lot of things to learn from you. I mean, because I mean, took an initiative of conducting you. I asked him to, I mean, personally invite you for the program. Thank you, Professor. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I hope that in future our office bearers and members will visit to Professor Panjanatham's sir university and will take some chocolates and toffee from Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. And
No, as far as Professor Panjanathan is concerned, there's no difference between senior faculty members, professors, and young research scholars. All are equally in front of him. I mean, he used to encourage even youngsters also by adorning Saul, by taking pictures. I mean, it's a great, I mean, great personality in South India. I can, even India also. Professor Panjanathan is a, I mean, he's a great, I mean, icon for youngsters, young researchers.
and Vishishar, I will visit with Professor Arunachalam, sir, to your university very soon. I think in the month of April or
Welcome.
May, both we will come there.
Always, all are welcome. Always, all are welcome.
Thank you, sir. So, for the formal vote of thanks, I would like to invite to Subhangi Amleji, Treasurer of the Indian Research Scholars Association and the Executive Committee member of the IRSA. So, please, madam.
Thank you, sir. Namaste and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shubhangi Amle, and I am from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. Respected chairperson, distinguished speakers, esteemed faculty members, executive committee members, and all participants, it's my great honor to deliver the vote of thanks at the conclusion of this inaugural session of our two-day webinar focusing on South India. South India is known for its rich cultural heritage, magnificent temples, and vibrant traditions. It's equally significant for its strong economic growth and dynamic political landscape. The region has played a vital role in shaping India's development through advancements in technology, industry, education, and social progress. Uh, with these brief words about the richness and significance of South India, I would like to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude to all those who made this inaugural session possible. First and foremost, I extend my sincere gratitude to our guest, Honorable VC Professor N. Panchanatham sir, Professor M. Suresh Babu sir, Professor KJ Joseph sir, and keynote speaker Honorable VC Professor TP Sasikumar sir for inaugurating this webinar and for sharing valuable insights on the political, social, and economic transformations shaping South India today. Your thoughtful perspectives have set a meaningful and inspiring tone for the discussions that will follow during the next academic sessions. I would also like to acknowledge all participants, researchers, faculty members, and students who have joined us today, especially Dr. Arunachalam sir. I'm also thankful to organizing committee and Dr. Vikash Kumar for their efforts and dedication. Thank you all, and I wish everyone a productive and insightful webinar ahead. Thank you.
And
Because that's
we will listen to Professor Arunachalam ji in the plenary session, who we have scheduled it, I think, on 2 o'clock. Swangi madam? Yes, yes. So we will listen to Professor Arunachalam sir. Sure.
Because there is, I just for your kind information, instead of focusing all the states together in South India, next program you organize, 2 days program for each state. Because there are
Sure, sure, sure.
you invite experts only from the respective states. For example, Kerala state means there are professors, done extensive research over Kerala economy, Kerala social development, Kerala educational development, Kerala's infrastructure development. Like that, even